Uh-oh, we're live now? Okay, Joe Hyde here. This is Ask San Angelo Live. It's our sort of weekly kind of show where we sit here and rap. And we have a special guest, Mr. Del Velasquez, the director. You're a director or the president or the CEO? What the heck are you?
I'm the executive director of Downtown San Angelo Incorporated.
So what makes it, well, first of all, Downtown San Angelo, if you don't know, is an organization that promotes the historic preservation and also revitalization of downtown.
Exactly.
Kind of like all around the United States now, we have the Main Street program. So you have like the main.
We are part of the Main Street program, yes, sir.
And in San Angelo, we actually add on to the Main Street program. Like if you go to Brownwood or Del Rio or somewhere like that, they have a Main Street manager that works for the city. In our situation, we have a nonprofit that runs that whole program, so the city doesn't have to pay that out of the tax revenue. So you actually save money for the taxpayer.
We try. We're about making wealth.
So before we get into the rest of the program, tell me more about Downtown San Angelo Inc. When was it started? What do you like about it?
Well, the program actually started in San Angelo in 2005. And we work off of a 4-point system that the Main Street program designed, which is economic vitality, design, which is what does it look like, the aesthetics, part of the streetscape.
So how did you get that cactus through Downtown San Angelo?
Oh, I didn't have anything to do with the cactus.
Nothing to do with the cactus.
Had nothing to do with the cactus. That was a private enterprise.
Okay.
and then the marketing promotions part of it. So creating events and activities that draw people to downtown.
One of the long-standing events you have is brews,
and barbecue. Yes, sir.
Okay. How long has that been going on?
That's been going on for 4 years.
4 years?
Seems like longer, but
right.
It's only been 4 years. Yeah, it's our major fundraiser. Because we do have to raise our funds. We are a nonprofit 501c3 organization, and then the fourth element is what we call organization, which means we go out and speak to other organizations and incorporate other organizations to help with the activities, the revitalization effort.
Give an example of that.
We work very closely with the Convention Visitors Bureau.
Okay.
And so their job is
so historic tourism was a big thing for a long time, and you're part of it.
It still is. Yeah.
What is a top spot downtown for historic tourism?
I would say the Cactus Hotel is it's a big draw.
Why is it a draw? I mean, what's interesting about the
Cactus because Hotel? It was built back in the 20s, and it has very historic elements. The aesthetics of it are historic in nature. It's a great venue for activities and events that take place. Weddings,
the great crystal ballroom, and also the open atrium in the middle.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's something that people are drawn to. And just our buildings downtown are one of a kind. You're not going to see those buildings anywhere else in Texas.
Do you have there was a famous architect named Ruffini.
That's correct.
Right? So do you have like a Ruffini tour where you can actually say these 16 buildings are all original Ruffinis?
We don't, but the Tom Green County Historic Preservation Society does.
Oh, really?
Right. So that would be another example of how we outreach to other organizations.
Right.
So they, it's a big job in relationship to trying to bring back and preserve our history. And there's so many arms that we reach out to make things happen in downtown.
What do you say to the naysayers that say, "Oh, there's nothing downtown except a bunch of old dilapidated buildings"?
Well, if you go downtown, and it was that way when I arrived in 2007. There was nothing going on. We only had three businesses that were open after 5 o'clock. Today we have 22 or more businesses, and we're about to get another 2 businesses later this year.
All right. So when I go down there now, let's say I go down there, I want to have me a drink at the Dead Horse, for example, right?
Right.
I mean, it's dark. So
right.
So it's a lot of construction going on in Chadburn, and I understand it's a $21 million the Chadwick Street Corridor project.
Right.
Can you explain what that is and when that's going to be finished?
Sure. Well, first phase just is what is being worked on right
And
now.
the phases are cut into like A, B, and C, right?
Correct.
So we're on C, phase 1.
Right. We're from the bridge, Chadwick Street Bridge, all the way to Beauregard. That's the phase that's being worked on right now. And not we, they are at
Bunch of construction workers.
they're about, I'd say about 85% done. In terms of the concrete work, the
So you
sidewalk.
go down there and you see the big star in the middle of the intersection. You see
Right.
Not parallel parking anymore, but it's angled parking.
Some of it is angled, yes, not all of it. But
Is that increasing the number of parking spaces downtown?
we didn't lose any parking spaces.
So you're gaining, I guess,
Not
convenience.
gaining, right?
You're gaining
It's-
convenience.
Well, it's really more the aesthetics, and we know it's a proven fact from studies that we learned when I go to Main Street School that when you do these
You have Main Street School.
there are it's called
Listen to this,
professional.
guys.
It's called professional development.
Hey, Andy, do you have this thing like running yet?
Oh yeah, we're going.
You're going? All right. Well, let me introduce the rest of the crew
Oh
here.
my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We didn't mean to
We're
like.
live.
This is this is the Joe and Dell hour.
Joe and Del Hour, Trammell and Manny Diaz. Oh, actually, we're not going to call you Manny Diaz anymore. We're going to call you El Rey.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
So anyway, there's Manny Diaz. I'm with Del Velasquez, and where's the Trammell desk? We
We're
have
here.
we have a
We're
new
live.
backdrop.
Yeah, look at this, man. The Trammell
look at
desk is
Trammell's
looking
new
nice.
home.
Looks great.
We put him in a new spot there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys having a great conversation about downtown San Angelo. Alex Rios is asking, what's the project end date for the downtown street refurbishing? I think because Dell, you had mentioned it's about 85% done. More or less, do we have kind of an end date?
For the first phase, the phase that we're currently working on.
They're on part C of phase 1.
Right. We are guesstimating because when it's construction, you just never know what you're going to run into. And we've had issues. One of the biggest major issues that occurred.
The streets are
very
falling
early
into the
on.
tunnels.
No, there was.
Are there really any
water
tunnels
line.
down there?
That's a very good question.
You don't
And
know?
I'm
You're
gonna-
the downtown guy. All right, Trammell. Have you ever been in one of those tunnels? Those tunnels.
I've never
downtown?
been down there, but are they under Miss Hattie's restaurant? Is that where they are? That's where they are, right? And they go right
The
to
myth
Eggemeyer's. Yeah, they go to Eggemeyer's, right? Go across the street.
Hey, there's a guy I know. He owns the bookstore, the Cactus Bookstore,
Right.
Felton.
Felton Cochran. Yes, sir.
He'll tell you all about the tunnels. He
He'll-
says they're all
he'll-
BS.
He has a different perspective on what the tunnels.
So, so are there tunnels? I mean, are no tunnels? Tunnels? What?
There are some tunnels that were created probably back in the 20s that I can testify to, and they were
You mean
done.
you were there when they made them?
Are they the ones that
I
are?
was not far from them.
Are they the ones
but-
that were under the bank?
No, these tunnels were created by the telephone company, and they were they ran the cabling back then, the copper cabling through those tunnels. And you
I heard
actually
the
can walk
rumor
through
that it was that they ran in between under the bank to the. What is the way to actually say this that we can correctly say this?
The House of Ill
The
Repute.
what's the B word? The
Brothel.
brothel, is that? Can we say that?
You
Yeah.
don't, you, wait, wait, you don't
Went
wanna-
from the bank to the
wait,
brothel.
wait.
So the
Trammell-
businessmen and the
Trammell doesn't
ranchers.
want it, Trammell, you don't want to say whorehouse?
Oh, nope. No, so then they were at the bank, and the bankers and ranchers, they'd go and they would do their business at the bank all day afternoon, and then they would go from under the bank to the brothel. Wasn't that how that worked?
That's the.
I think that's the rumor,
Dell, you
right?
care to
That's the
field that
legend.
question?
That's the
legend.
rumor, right?
That's
Del,
the rumor.
is that tunnel
Yeah.
there? I want to know about the bank, from the bank to the brothel. Is it there?
I've never seen it. I don't know.
Have
but
you been,
what
have you
I've
been
heard-
underneath any of these tunnels?
No, I have been under a building that's on Concho, where there is what looks like a entryway to a tunnel. Or
Is that who owns that building? It's
currently it's called Jesse Rose Mercantile.
okay. So Jesse Rose, I've been down there. They have
Right.
two doors.
Right,
They have one on either
Right.
side of the basement.
right.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. It
No-
they, today.
But wait,
tunnels.
we've been tearing up the streets down there. How come no one's digging down there to find the tunnels?
Well, they're.
You know what? No one wants to know about the tunnels.
What's up
tunnels-
with those bricks that are the star? Are those
They're
the
covering that-
original bricks, or are those,
No.
was that a rumor too?
They're coming
No,
out.
those
they're-
are not original bricks.
Those weren't the ones that were under the street.
No, not at all. Those are brand new bricks.
Oh, see, I thought I was told a rumor that those were the bricks that were underneath the street that
No.
because underneath Concho was brick,
Right.
and it was that red brick. So
Right.
The,
I was
reason
told
is,
that they
Trammell,
reused
you
it.
keep writing these headlines about
It must be the
downtown
fake-
torn
it
up.
must be fake news that San Angelo Live was spreading.
Yeah, those. If you look at the bricks that were pulled up, those bricks were probably somewhere were manufactured somewhere in the 40s and
Man.
30s.
And
Probably
they had
40s and 50s.
they had the railroad up there, right?
We have tracks. Yes, we
The road
did
to Lakeview.
Lots of tracks to
But
prove
no
that
tunnel.
there was, but I haven't seen any tunnel. Now, there are, for example, one of the areas that we were concerned about when the construction started, right there by the Townhouse Hotel on the side there on
All right,
Chadburn Street.
most people don't know what the Townhouse Hotel is.
It is 1 East Concho Avenue.
So it's
on
right
the-
across from the Angry Cactus.
right,
It's the one with the garage in the bottom.
right. No,
right.
no, there's
Had
no garage
Insane
in the bottom.
Sounds or something like that used to be there.
Yeah, there used to be no. There's no
Custom
garage
sounds.
in the bottom.
Oh.
There is a basement there, but
Oh.
so there is when they started doing the construction, they did find a major basement underneath there that people didn't even know existed.
They started construction of the streets.
The construction of the streets.
They're not reconstructing the hotel there.
No.
It's
Just the
just-
street.
it's
Where the
just sitting
streetscape started.
Right.
Right. So.
Well,
But to get, I wanted to answer the question. Right now, we're guesstimating if everything goes according to plan, and there's a lot of moving parts. For example, the street lights. You brought them
how
up.
dark it is.
How dark it is. Right.
Yeah.
The street lights are being brought in the city bottom, but the Texas Department of Transportation needs to install them, and
Why?
because they control the street lights.
Isn't that
Will
a
they
city
be
street?
what kind of
It
street
is,
lights
but-
will they be? Will they be like street pole lights? Will they be hanging
They're
lights?
historic. They're if you've seen the street lights that are placed between Bryant and Randolph that lead up to the gateway, those are the exact ones that are going to.
This is on West Concho between
Yeah.
Bryant and Randolph.
by that
Right.
brand new gateway.
By the
It says
gateway.
Downtown. Welcome to historic downtown.
Right. And
Yeah.
by the way, Downtown San Angelo raised the money. That was a private initiative. We raised the money to be able to create the gateway as well as the lights. We called it the Leading Lights Project. And so we were able to do that. Now that it's done, we had a memorandum of understanding with the city of San Angelo. Now they own it.
Gotcha. So you basically gave them an unfunded mandate.
That's correct.
Gotcha. Hey, one of the interesting things about the lights that I know is, Chadburn Street used to be 87.
Right.
So
The highway.
So the rule was back in the 40s or whenever they built 87 through here was the lights had to be a very high height above the street.
Right.
So it didn't really give the lighting that they had didn't give Chadburn that kind of downtown cozy feel.
Right.
And so these lights are going to lower. They're going to be lower than those original
Right.
lights. So it'll be, I guess, it really will help with the aesthetics.
It's going to have a big play
Right.
on the aesthetics. Yeah, it's
and you said you said the completion date is going to be what?
well,
July
again,
15th.
I wish.
July
No,
31st?
I'm thinking more in mid-August.
Really?
Yeah.
Mid-August.
Right.
And so
And folks, by the way,
And that's completely finished or just phase one?
no,
Phase
just
one.
phase one,
Just
Phase
phase one.
two is
How many
gonna be like
how
a-
many phases are there?
3
There's gonna be 3
but
phases,
each
and
phase goes to a different
it's gonna
part.
it's gonna go all the way down to the loop. Is it the bridge to the loop?
to 6th Street. Yeah, right
Yeah.
before the loop.
Right before the loop.
So yeah, so there's a lot of moving parts to these types of constructions. There's things that we discovered that there's no way we would have known until they started digging up the streets, and that caused delays. Weather causes delays. We've had some rain and issues that And we had a big storm in February. Do you remember that big storm we had?
Ice
that
storm.
froze everybody out.
Doesn't ring a bell.
No, I don't remember it at all. You don't
Armageddon? Is that what it was? Armageddon?
I think it was Armageddon. I think you could call it Armageddon. It felt like Armageddon to me. But so those impact. But take into consideration those elements that played into this phase one piece of it. The fact that we're at August. Think of other projects around the city or other cities if you've ever lived anywhere else.
Think of I-35.
How long? Yeah.
How long has I-35 been under construction, right?
Yeah.
And here we
Over
are.
there, it's like that's like that meme that went around. It was like the state of Texas. The actual flower isn't the bluebonnet. It's the traffic cones on I-35. It's just always there.
The other big thing about it, I think that needs to be said, is this is not coming out of majority city money. This is a huge TxDOT and federal grant.
TxDOT and federal grant,
yeah.
right?
And it was $20 million. I mean, it took a lot of work to apply for this grant, and the city staff really came through on it, didn't they?
Big time, yes, sir.
Yeah. Because if we didn't have this, I mean, we're not really moving forward. You got to be constructing things, and think about all the construction jobs.
Right.
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 I mean,
and at the national level, we've been hearing for years about an infrastructure bill, the need for our communities across the country to be brought up to code, if you will, to be brought up into the 20th century.
We're also competing against cities like Abilene and Brownwood and Midland, Odessa, and stuff like that for that same kind of money, and we're getting it. So that's a good thing for San Angelo.
Very good.
So didn't we just pass a huge infrastructure bill? So maybe that'll help it out.
Did we pass an infrastructure? We haven't passed anything yet.
It's not passed
They're
yet.
still arguing. It's like
how many years they've been talking about this infrastructure bill for 12 at least.
I don't think there's an infrastructure bill yet. I mean, they're yapping about
the Biden plan. Just wait on it.
Yeah, well, let's not run the live stream, man.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on.
Come on, man.
Anyway, are there any other questions about downtown?
No. That's all we got as far as the questions.
Here's a pretty good comment. Here we go. Ready? I find it hilarious that those that chastise, gripe, and complain and boycott San Angelo Live still showed up to the free sponsored San Angelo Live 4th of July event and still complained about it. Just a bunch of ungrateful, sad people in this town. That's from Xavier Johnson.
But,
How was the Pops concert, guys? Let's kind of segue into that. What'd y'all think? How was it?
The Pops concert was on
the
Saturday
San Angelo
night.
Live,
San Angelo Live and Downtown San Angelo.
Concert and fireworks show.
Star-Spangled Banner concert and fireworks extravaganza.
No,
my bad.
A Star-Spangled Banner concert and fireworks.
Concert and fireworks show. Guys, how was it?
How was it, Joe?
I was tired after I got home at like 3 a.m.
Yeah. One of the amazing things relative to what you just read, Matt, about people complaining, the fact is that there was going to be nothing had Joe not came up with the idea of trying to get this done. And when I received the phone call from him to see if we were interested in partnering, of course we said yes. And if you'll remember back in December, the Christmas parade had been canceled as well because of COVID. Well, we ended up coming up with an idea, and I thought it was a fairly good idea, of doing a reverse parade where people would actually be the ones moving through the street.
They could drive through the street with their masks on.
If they wanted to wear their masks.
And view the floats.
And view the floats. So we filled in a gap that was missing. And of course our job in terms of what we do in downtown San Angelo is to keep downtown moving and being a player in the community. And so it was a no-brainer to receive the phone call from Joe. For us to jump in and say, yeah, we'll help. How can we help? And Joe asked me to put together the lineup for the entertainment.
And you became the artistic director? Is that what the guy said?
Somebody called me the artistic director. That's the
Mr.
first time I'd heard that.
The artistic director.
I've never done anything like this before, folks. It was the first time I'd ever ventured into
Dale,
this.
I know you're a musician. And,
I do love music.
And there was a lot of fortunate things that happened here. I mean, we knew that the community band could come. We talked to the West West Texas Jazz Orchestra. We had them. I think we were negotiating or talking with the mariachi mariachi
Alma Mexicana.
Yeah,
Alma Mexicana.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden you said, I got this old email from the Air Force. I'm going to see if I can get the Air Force band. And so you sent this email, and it went to someone who had PCS like 4 times away, because you must have last talked to him like in 2009 or something. And
Actually, it was longer than that.
was it really?
Yeah.
Anyway, and he reconnected you with Lackland Air Force Base's Band of the West, and the
Right.
guy was like, yeah, let's do this.
Right. Yeah, no, it was pretty amazing in terms of how that sequence worked.
But the low brass in the Air Force Band of the West was phenomenal. I don't know, the sound. I mean, I felt like I was at the Houston Symphony concert. I mean,
Yeah.
the low brass was really good.
Yeah, Nick Willman was the sound engineer,
Mm-hmm.
and we paid a tribute to him on stage that night because he did an incredible job with what he had to work with. Remember, we had weather issues, and you
Made
know
it
what?
rain.
Something
Downtown
probably,
San Angelo made it rain.
yeah, something that really probably nobody knows was we didn't have any power.
Yeah.
On Saturday morning,
Yeah,
AEP
until like 2:30 in the afternoon. Then
Right.
AEP came.
And what happened to the speakers? Didn't something happen to the
Speakers
speakers?
got the Brian Thomas with Tradewind Sounds, who also did an excellent job.
He did.
I mean, the equipment. By the way, every time I go to a concert at the River Stage, they always have 6 speakers stacked on each side, and to me, that's not enough. And so I told Brian that. I said, don't be putting 6 speakers up on each side and charging me all that money. I want 10 speakers, and he came with it. He got the 10 speakers, and we're flying 10 on each side. But overnight, the tarps on the right side of the stage, we had them all over the speakers and the amps and stuff like that. The tarps got blown away by 50-mile-an-hour winds, and everything got wet.
Right.
And when I showed up there at 9 o'clock, Brian said, we're probably not going to be able to turn the speakers on. I said, what do you mean you're not going to turn the speakers on? We have like all this stuff going on. He goes, yeah, they're wet. It might blow up.
Yeah.
And so I said, what are you going to do? He said, well, we might get these little monitors, the monitors on the stage, and
That
we'll
wouldn't
just
have
turn
worked.
them out so the audience can hear the monitors.
That would have been horrible.
Oh, but I was like, so I was really depressed all afternoon. I was thinking that, man, all the people on Facebook, all the haters, which we don't have any today, do we? They all love us today.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah, so we had some major challenges that we had to overcome that morning, and thank you AEP for showing up big time to get out there and get the power back up and running. And then we were fortunate and blessed beyond when the sky started clearing up about 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Even though
sun came out
everyone's
a little bit.
pulling up their Yahoo weather going, Joe, we can't do anything. There's a 70% chance of rain. And I'm
Right.
looking at the radar going, it ain't going to rain. Put your stuff out.
Right. Yeah. So that was another issue. We had disagreements about whether it wasn't going to rain or was going to rain or not. And so that was also delaying our ability to get all of the moving parts together for the show. And then we had scheduled some sound checks with the equipment.
Do we even do
and-
that?
Yeah, we barely did. Yeah,
Really?
I mean,
Okay.
we did, but we barely got it done.
Yeah, it was about like right when the show kicked off. I think
Right, we had
some
just
people were
finished.
up there. Yeah, doing
Yeah,
some
we had
sound
just
checks,
finished
so.
doing.
And the light bar was still across the
Yeah,
bottom
the
of
light
On
bar
the
was at
stage at, like,
6:30. It was
6:30,
still
yeah,
there.
yeah.
It
It's like,
was
man, I
still
guess they're
there.
leaving there all night.
Meanwhile,
And,
Manny was over there setting up the live stream
Yeah, for sure.
for sure.
Stressing. I mean, just life just feeling like it's going straight to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I was thinking we weren't going to get that thing off the air until we weren't going to get. We were supposed to start the community band at 6:30. Actually, we would do the introductions. Community band's supposed to start at 6:40, right?
Right.
I think you started the introductions at 6:39.
Right.
So we were 9 minutes late.
All right. Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, all as it ends well is I mean, you
You
can't
know-
control the weather. Sometimes you can't control the things. If you ever go to a Texas country concert and you think that, or like a rap concert,
Everyone's drunk by 4.
A rap concert, Lord, if you think that you're gonna get there and the guy's gonna go on stage at 10:30 when he says so,
it ain't
it
happening.
ain't happening.
Well,
so.
you know what gets me is someone wrote in the comments that said that, well, usually when you run these things professionally, you have a schedule written out. What do you think we were working off of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a schedule down to like the second. I mean, and I look at the schedule and I go, Dell, Mr. Artistic Director, Ain't gonna happen that way, man.
Yeah. Well,
At least you have to have a plan.
We had to have a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I've never done anything like this before. This is my first rodeo putting on together a concert, if you will, that had all these different elements. We had 5 bands
Of different types of genres, too.
Then that was the goal, is to have different types of genres. That was unique and different from what the traditional
4th of
symphony
July. Yeah.
pops concert has. They have this community band and the symphony band.
I call it a binary. It was a binary thing because we kind of had a pop, a more pop way, like rock and roll pop way.
Right.
Even the Air Force Band of the West kind of, kneeled toward that.
Yeah, they
Right.
played
And-
Lion King.
Lion King. Man.
At one point, there
Isn't
was
that good?
Hakuna Matata in here.
Yeah, Hakuna Matata.
Tell
we're
you
going.
what.
But the other one was we had the Fleetwood Mac thing going, and,
Right.
and the jazz band, and it wasn't like we were doing all the symphonic guys all at once. We had to go from community band to mariachi, and then to a jazz setup, and back to symphonic band setup, back to
Pop.
rock and roll.
Rock and roll, yeah. So those are all transitions that take time, effort, and energy to get done.
And Dell only gave us 3 minutes between each. Isn't that right? About 3 minutes on
minutes?
schedule.
Well, I thought we could get it done in 3 minutes, but I was wrong.
Yeah, I think the Fleetwood Mac thing, it kind of took a second to get all their
Yeah, that was
equipment in there
that
and
was a
stuff.
big.
I think
delay.
we were tired by
And
then.
yeah,
I was exhausted.
But then if y'all were there, y'all were blessed to hear Joe's amazing joke telling.
My jokes were the highlight of the evening.
I think the Facebook commenters would probably disagree with that
No,
one.
they
too.
wouldn't. They weren't even listening by then. I completely.
It was a tough crowd at that point when Joe was getting on there.
It
but-
definitely
No,
was. I was
that-
trying to
well,
help you
that
out.
is
I was in the outside trying to heckle a little bit, trying to get some laughs and get it going a little bit. I
But
was
no
trying to
one
help
would
you.
laugh. I don't know what the deal was. They were mad because Dell took so long to fire off the fireworks. And I had nothing to
let's
do
talk
with it.
about that. Let's talk about
All
the
right,
fireworks.
we're going to go. We're 9 minutes late starting. And
Right.
then after all those band changes, by the time we were scheduled for the fireworks originally at 10 p.m., right? That was
Well, but I had it at 10:05.
all right, 10:05.
Right.
The first firework went off at 10:30. Isn't that about right?
About right.
Yeah. People were beside themselves. I mean, their hair was on fire. And they were commenting, I have 15 kids here, and they're all very restless. And if you don't start the fireworks right away, I'm going to sue you. That's kind of comments we're
The
getting.
Karens of America
Karens.
truly came out on Saturday night.
I did get a phone call on my cell right when one of the bands was playing, and it was someone telling me that there were people on the Chadbourne Street Bridge were really getting irritated that the
They weren't. They were getting drunk.
Well, that too, but they were getting really irritated. So, So let's go. You want to talk about that for a minute?
All right. So why were the fireworks so late, Dell?
Okay, the fireworks
Because
were
it
late
wasn't
for
San Angelo
several-
Live's fault.
No, of course.
By the way, firework video courtesy of Brian Groves in the city of San Angelo. Fantastic footage there.
Isn't that
Dell,
pretty?
as you were
From a
Yes.
drone.
Okay.
Beautiful
So
footage.
when we were plotting out the time factor for the fireworks, the Air Force Band of the West was playing the 1812 Overture. They have a very succinct timing as to when the fireworks go off, and so we coordinated with them where they would text the cannons.
All right.
because
Wait,
we
so
wanted-
the Air Force Band of the West is up there playing their trombones and trumpets, and they're going to text you?
They not me. They text directly to the good light artillery cannons because the cannons in the sequence they go first.
Okay.
Then the fireworks go off after the cannons.
Okay.
And we're talking.
So someone up there on the band, up in there on the
in the
stadium,
band,
on the
at band,
stage,
on stage
was text. So it was like
Text fire.
Must have been a flute player because the flutes weren't playing when they were firing the fireworks, right?
Right.
So
Well, it was a clarinet player actually.
I knew it. I knew
was a
it.
clarinet.
So a clarinet player.
Yeah.
No wonder they were so late. You had a clarinet player.
Right. Well,
If you had the tuba guy, it would have been right
well,
there.
no, she was on time. I mean, she
Tuba,
texts right at the right time.
Tuba guys,
There
baby.
on the score, if you look at the 1812 score, when they get to the fanfare prelude in the score, there's a mark there that's where the cannons fire, and of course we're talking technically correct score. So that's when
It wasn't like
the cannon-
like just Dell deciding I'm going to fire
No,
the cannon at the
exactly.
very end of the song.
That's right. No, they had it. They had their system and their process in place, And so once that happened, the next sequence was the beginning of the fireworks. And it did go off the way we planned it. It was just late.
It
in the game.
wasn't late in the song. The song
No,
was
no,
late.
not
The song
the
was late because we started 9 minutes late. We had a couple stage change snafus, I guess. We had
Well, I don't know
one
that
group
there
that
were
went way over, and
Also, though, don't you think that you would want to have the fireworks when it's nighttime, not like at dusk?
well, not when you have 7 kids and you're going to see
I
them.
guess, yeah.
But
Every one of their baby daddies is.
Hey,
trying to
by the
figure
way,
out where they are.
Charles Mendez commenting in here, kids go to bed early. It should be done earlier. 2 years to prep for this and still wasn't worth help. Hello. I mean, yeah.
no, we didn't have 2 years to prep for this.
No,
we had,
sorry, Charles. We did not have to.
we had
5 weeks. We had 5 weeks to raise enough money to do it, to put all the right people in place. I mean, this is a political undertaking as much as it is a business undertaking, and that's why I brought in the Downtown San Angelo, because I needed Dell. I mean, no one. I'm an abrasive personality. Some people won't even talk to me. I needed someone to be able to talk to people who want to talk to me, and also I needed someone to help me because we needed to sell some sponsorships,
Right.
and otherwise the fireworks are expensive.
Yeah. $1,000 a minute, folks.
Yep.
$1,000
Yeah,
per
well, it
minute.
should have been about 15 minutes longer there. Just
So
kidding.
are you
I'm
gonna
just kidding. Yeah.
Trammell?
Hey,
Or you got
That's
your
just
wallet?
people-
Do you
that's
have your
just-
wallet out?
Hey, the people
that's
on
the other
Facebook,
element.
we can just get a
Here's the
$10
other-
brisket plates.
By the way, we've been talking for like 20 minutes, and the fireworks video is still going. So I would say it's pretty dang good fireworks show.
Heck yeah.
There you go.
Damn good fireworks show.
There you go.
Hey, one of the things about the fireworks, it wasn't a financial limiting factor. It was space limiting factor. Celebration Bridge is only so large, and so there's so many cakes you can put on it. Now, the next step would have been to take the wires up and wire up Oak Street Bridge, and that would have caused a whole lot of other issues, particularly with permitting.
Well, there was a lot of people on that bridge, right?
I don't know. There's no one on it because it was
No, it was
Yeah, it
blocked
was.
off.
Yeah,
Oh, it
yeah,
was
yeah.
closed? Okay.
Just
But-
people on Chadburn Street.
Oh,
But
that's
why?
Chadburn
But
Bridge, yeah.
we made a decision not to wire up Oak Street Bridge primarily because we wanted to keep it simple. I'm a keep it simple kind of guy, and I so how big is Ken Langford? He's a great guy to explain. I can make this fireworks show just as good off of Celebration Bridge. Don't make me go up on. Please don't send me up to Oak Street Bridge to wire that because it's really hard, difficult. It could fail.
Right.
Those kinds of things.
Yeah, and I'm guesstimating, but to do the Oak Street Bridge, we would probably need another $30,000, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was going to be very expensive. We didn't have the money. We pulled this off in 5 weeks, if
So
people think
who's
that
this
they
guy
can do a better
complaining
job-
that we had 2 years?
Yeah, this is Charles Melendez. But I
Charles
tell you
Melendez,
what,
kiss my grits.
Xavier Johnson's still
Yeah.
got our back.
Yeah,
here.
he's
He
going
said-
hard. He's going
He
hard
said,
for
this
us.
is the guy earlier who was complaining about the complainers. He says, 2 years to prep, educate yourself. This was planned after Pop's concert was canceled.
That's
Yuppers?
exactly right.
Yuppers?
That's right. So, again, who in here has ever put together a July 4th celebration
I think that would just
in
be y'all two.
5 weeks?
I mean, check out this finale right here. I mean,
Yeah.
this is
Boom,
phenomenal.
boom, boom.
I look at this fireworks show and I'm like, my goodness, I can't believe we did this.
I know.
It's pretty. It was
If only it would have been at 9 o'clock. Crazy.
But I think it was important to the show and to the the overall decorum of the evening is to have that. The Air Force Band of the West was phenomenal, and if you came into the river stage and you didn't want to sit there and complain about the no cooler clause, and came to the river stage and watched, which thousands of people did. I mean, they put on one heck of a performance.
they were awesome.
And you can scroll down our page and you can watch some of the live streams we did of the Air Force Band, and you can watch the whole sequence of the Air Force Band going into the fireworks. You just watch that thing. I mean, the 1812 overtures, that's not an easy piece to play. And the interesting thing is, Dell, I don't think the Air Force Band of the West could have done it had you not connected them with the ASU professors and professional
Right.
musicians locally, because the Air Force Band of the West, I know how this worked. I was in the Air Force for a long time. They were late on PCSing people, meaning moving people to different permanent stations. So they were late on assigning people to that band because of the COVID pandemic. They weren't.
right.
The Air Force kind of had a moratorium on moves for a while.
Right.
So he was short on musicians.
Right.
And how many San Angelans filled in?
18,
18 San Angelans in a band of what? About 50?
52.
52. So
Right.
18 of those guys were Angelo State University professors, students, I guess.
And actually, we had a couple. Well, one for sure was from Texas Tech band.
Really, the
Yeah.
Texas Tech band.
The Texas.
The going
band.
band from Raiderland.
There you go. Dun, dun, dun. I get into it.
Anyway.
So yeah, they were amazed that we were able to pull together the number of musicians that we were to fill in, and they had to be pedigreed musicians. It wasn't people like me that sit there and bang on a piano and think I'm
Blow
playing
through their
music.
trombone with their nose.
Right. I mean, these guys were really, really well trained, excellent musicians, and so, and you know what? They never rehearsed.
They never rehearsed?
Never.
Really?
There was
Wow.
never a rehearsal.
That's
There
impressive.
was no
They-
rehearsal, and they're playing that Lion King stuff and all that.
Yep. They just sat and started reading the music and watched the conductor, and that was it. That was
Wow.
there was no
That's
rehearsal.
something.
We did sound check. They went through several songs during sound check, but not even complete songs. They just played
hard parts.
snippets. Yeah, the hard parts
Yeah.
to get everybody keyed up on it.
That's cool.
And so,
So the Air Force Band of the West with 18 substitutes in it
right.
didn't rehearse, and they came to our concert and they played like they did. I mean, that was really good.
Pretty awesome. Pretty
Yeah.
awesome. And again, they're the top of the top. They're the best of the best that
Mm-hmm.
you can have in the music field to play that type of music.
Well, another interesting thing about the show, I think they stole the show was the mariachi band.
For sure.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, Manny, they dedicated a song to you. They wouldn't dedicate a song to me. But
Well, I mean, you know,
you're
I
like El Rey. El Rey.
Well, you know, Joe. I mean, I showed him some love with the nice video. I had got him in a little bit of rehearsal time. So now it was well worth it. I mean, hearing him going through the rehearsal a few weeks ago, just what they do on a normal basis was really, really good. I mean, these guys been playing. I mean, you have to go back to the Edison junior high days. That's where a lot of these guys started
Got together.
picking up the mariachi sounds of it. And I mean, that's been a minute, and most of these guys are I'm about the same age as them, so mid-30s. So they've been playing together for, well over 20 years.
But the good thing about their show, what they did really well in their show was, first of all, just by being there, it mainstreamed the mariachi type music, genre of music. It mainstreamed it. I mean, would you imagine a mariachi band at a 4th of July concert in 1981?
No.
Probably not.
Absolutely not. No.
But they mainstreamed, but they also paid homage to from whence everyone came. I mean, they played music that would be loved by white, Hispanic, black. I mean, they played like with the Texas Melody.
Yeah, that
and
was
the Orange
awesome.
Blossom Special.
That was so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think their showmanship was, over the top, really good.
It was, yes.
Yeah.
And one thing that I'll have to make a comment on this one is I never even thought about it. It was an instinctive move to say we need mariachis. I never thought about the fact that it would be an odd.
I know what that is,
an
though. That's the
oddity.
Mexicano in you.
That's
that
right.
needed to come
That's
out.
where I was going. That's where I was going with it. I never even thought twice about it. So when I called them and were able to get them booked, it didn't hit me until Rosendo Ramos, who is one of the members, was speaking, and he thanked everyone for the opportunity to be able to be there at an event like this. Was an oddity, and for me that was the norm.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just normal for me. There was no oddity to it.
The Avenue T thing.
Yes.
The Avenue T thing. Yeah.
So that's I love the term, and I didn't come up with it. I heard it somewhere, but West Texas Americana.
Yeah.
It was a West Texas Americana.
That's
That's
a
what.
wonderful way to put that.
Yeah, the whole genre of musics that was played that evening, and I get the idea, especially for children, that they are looking more forward to the fireworks more than they are the music, But
No,
I get
everyone
it.
was looking forward to the fireworks and not the music.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think most of our comments during the actual show, it was a lot about the mariachi band. I feel like that probably was one of the favorite parts of the
Actually,
whole
it was
night.
about Manny not being quiet during the mariachi.
Whoa.
band. Yeah.
Me not
yeah,
being
Manny.
quiet.
Manny,
think
you
they-
were like hogging the camera.
Yeah,
They
I think
enjoyed
there
my
was two. I
commentary.
think there was two people sitting up there.
Manny, like he just kept on this ESPN thing. We're gonna do this ESPN
God.
right into the mariachi band, and he wouldn't stop.
It was great.
And people were going, stop. And then they started blaming me, of course. I get blamed for everything. Manny gets off, he's El Rey.
Well,
you know?
I mean, there's a clock in my head, Joe, that it goes off and says, "Okay, we got to get off, man. We just got to do this." But no, it was good listening to them. They were a great addition to the show. Del, that's fantastic. You added them to this, and I hope we get a chance to see them again on another platform similar to this.
You will actually September the 24th and 25th. We're working with the San Angelo Museum of Fine Arts. We're planning
with Howard Taylor.
with Howard Taylor
yes,
and
Howard
his
Taylor.
organization. I am actually on that board as well, and
You're
we're
on the museum board?
I am on the museum board,
My goodness.
and we're putting together a Fiestas Patrias celebration.
What does Patrias mean for gringos?
Patrias means countries.
So say it again.
Fiestas Patrias.
So we're going to have a party of the countries?
of countries.
Hey,
Of countries. The
I know about a
celebration.
good country party.
Are we going to have,
Hey,
are we going to
yeah,
celebrate
kicking
like
up
countries like
dust.
Greece?
No,
No?
you know, Hispanic Heritage Month begins on September the 15th.
Okay.
The Mexican Independence Day is September the 16th.
Right.
And then, and don't get me to lying here, but right after that, or within that month, between September 15th and October 15th, Panama, Chile, Peru, obviously Mexico,
Guatemala.
and I don't know if Guatemala's in there or not, but those are
Honduras?
countries. I don't believe Honduras is in there, but those are countries that are celebrating their independence
Okay.
during that month, and that holiday started, or the Hispanic Heritage Month concept really started during the Lyndon Johnson's administration. It was a week. It was Hispanic Week in '68, and then President Reagan converted it to a month when he became president. And Hispanic Heritage Month has then continued to grow and develop in
You
popularity.
know how much you're growing this Hispanic Heritage Month thing? I mean, remember 2 or 3 years ago you started the celebration on the steps of City Hall, and that was
That was
pretty
in
much it?
19.
That was pretty much it.
That was in 19. We started that, and and from that, we saw a need for more educational, more celebration of the Hispanic culture in San Angelo. As you well know, we're well over 45% of the community.
And you're
here
about 60% or 65% of the school district.
in the school district. Yes, sir. And so that obviously lends to the fact that we play a major role in this
Right.
community as our culture develops and unfolds. And so we started a Hispanic Heritage Museum and Cultural Center. That's our goal, is to create a museum and cultural center at some point in the future. We just got started a few months ago. And Manny's on the board of that organization.
Glad to be part of it.
And we hope to develop educational component where you can learn the cuisine, the music, all of those elements, and of course the artistic element. We have some great artists and musicians in San Angelo. Just to give you another heads up about another event that another event that we're planning, and that will be Dia de los Muertos. And
That's
one,
the Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
That's the gringo translation.
Yeah.
and
the
so we're gonna have we're in the process of.
You're going to kill someone downtown? Is
No,
that what
sir.
you're going to do?
No, sir. We're gonna celebrate
Downtown
life.
sacrifice.
We're gonna be celebrating life, and we're gonna pay tribute to all of the Hispanic heritage musicians that have either been or still are in San Angelo and we're going to play tribute to them.
You're going to make a doll for him and put him on the screen?
No, it's
okay.
not. No.
Because if I'm still alive, I don't want you putting my likeness in a doll.
No, there's no likenesses or no dolls. No, it's the whole concept that we're using is we memorialize. People are memorialized.
All right,
every day.
explain to
We play
me.
tribute.
So I'm making light of it. So you
Right.
explain to me the De los Muertos tradition. What is
Right.
the traditional thing to do on this day?
Well, it depends on what part of Mexico.
Norte. I'm in northern Mexico.
Northern Mexico. And I'm not an expert on this, so I'm not going to speak to it. But I'm going to say this.
You're the executive director.
Downtown San Angelo.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the president of the Hispanic Heritage Committee.
Then you better know.
And I don't know, but and I'll admit it. But I do know that we are looking at it from a perspective of memorializing the people who have left us.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we did our first Dia de los Muertos last year, it was a virtual one. We did set up an altar of balloons,
Mm-hmm.
and people could bring photographs of their loved ones that they memorializing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the traditions that's in Mexico that we adopted in ours was that you could bring something that was meaningful to them. So we saw pictures of people wearing their Dallas Cowboy paraphernalia. They were big Dallas Cowboy fans. That's what they were remembered for by their families.
Manny, do you want to be remembered as a Dallas Cowboy fan?
God, no. I will throw that one in there.
No, not really. I mean, I'm good with that as long as somebody remembers me in general. That's all I'm really
They're
concerned.
going to remember you as
if
a...
they bury me in a Cowboys jersey, I better be face down.
You're going to be buried in a Texas Tech Raiders.
That'd be better than, way better.
Well, I'm just using that as an example, folks. So some people loved cars,
Yeah,
so
right.
they had model cars. They had,
Don't bury me in a Toyota. Don't bring a Toyota, man.
Yeah.
I want you to bring an F-150. That's how you remember me. F-150.
Yeah. And
But-
the Coors Light.
And a Coors Light, but not at the same time. Not at the same time.
Yeah, and some people had Jack Beam bottles and different bottles.
Jim Beam?
Jim Beam, sorry.
It's Jack
Daniels.
Jim Beam.
See, that tells you about how much I drink.
Hey,
I don't,
so-
I don't know about the names of
I don't know
I
if
bet if
we-
I said Jameson, you'd know.
I would know that one.
I don't know if we actually asked this question, but I bet a bunch of people are wondering, are y'all going to do this again next year? The concert?
Not at this time.
The Pops concert?
No, I'm
Star
sure.
Spangled Banner, fireworks,
We believe that the symphony is going to bring back the symphony July Pops. They've done it for 2 years, and so I suspect we haven't had any conversations, but I suspect that they will continue their tradition of.
So there's no competitiveness here that's we want to take it over? No?
No, not on my part.
Okay. Just
No, we're going
questions.
to do it.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I want to do it. I mean, I'm not going to step on any toes, but I'd like to do it. It was fun, and
We certainly did learn a lot. For one thing, we were not going to be late with the fireworks if we ever did it again.
fireworks will be at 8:47.
Yeah, don't worry. Hey,
Maybe
I
we
don't
don't
care
have
what's
elections.
going on.
Well,
I don't
12?
care who's on stage, what's going on. The fireworks are going to go
gates
off.
open
By
at
the way-
12, fireworks are at 1.
I talked to the concessionaire. He said that they made more money on this July 4th concert than as far as gross sales go. I don't know if he made the money. He doesn't tell me. But he did 3 times what he normally does on July 4th show
That's
or
good.
July 3rd show. So I think we had a pretty good crowd out there.
Yeah.
I think the fireworks were I think they were perfect. The perfect timing. I would have started the fireworks earlier in the 1812 overture, but that's not musically correct.
That's not correct. I mean, we had.
I think
we were dealing with the United States Air Force Band of the
we're
West.
dealing with regulations, folks.
and they
Biden's America.
They
oh,
were
it was Joe
sticklers about
Biden.
everything.
It was Joe Biden.
Yeah, blame it on Joe Biden.
He's in charge of the
He's
Air
in charge
Force
of the
Band
Air
now.
Force.
Now, please direct all your complaints about the late fireworks to President Joe Biden, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, because the Air Force Band caused us to be late. There you go. No?
Xavier Johnson, do it. Price of admission, directions, 1 complaint to Joe.
Say what?
Xavier Johnson came back and said, do it. Price of admission, directions, 1 complaint of Joe. Joe.
One
Biden.
complaint to Joe. What's his complaint?
I don't know. He's complaining to Joe Biden, though.
Oh,
Joe
yeah.
Biden.
Oh, Joe Biden, not Joe Hyde.
Not Joe Hyde, Joe Biden.
Yeah. Yeah, please be specific when you're talking about your Joes. Or you do like Dale here and just call me Joseph.
Yeah, I've always called him Joseph.
Dale, I know it's Dale because he'll be on the phone. Joseph, we need to fix this. And I'm like, the reason why he keeps calling me Joseph is because he wants to sell me into slavery in El Dorado or something, you know?
In
I
El
don't
No,
know.
Dorado.
if that was
Oh
the
my
case, I would
God,
call
jeez.
you Jose.
Jose.
Uh,
I was trying to use a biblical metaphor.
got
you
it.
know, the wild color.
No, I got it. I got
You
it.
know,
Yeah.
most people on Facebook land probably don't even know what we're talking about.
No, they didn't.
No, but we won't go into the Bible. Yeah, Manny, next subject. We're gonna go into the local news,
Yeah, well, I mean, I know we have Dell here. I know we just wanted to have him along to chat.
but he wants he needs to stay here. But all of his views are just Dell's.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I know we were just talking about just the concert on Saturday, which was great.
Yeah.
That's what we kind of wanted to chat with Dell about. Dell, you're more than welcome. I know you probably got a busy slate of things to do the rest
I
of the
do,
day.
but thank you for the opportunity, and it was a blast working on this project, and we will sign off with
Dell,
that.
you don't want to talk about Alan
bless.
West running?
No,
You don't?
I don't.
Dell is so scared.
No, I'm not scared. I just don't know anything about it.
All righty. Well,
Thank
Dell,
you.
thank you, sir.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank y'all. Thank you, Manny.
All right. Well, appreciate you, Dell. I know Joe has a lot. We're going to unpack a few things when it comes to local and state news. Joe, you're talking Alan West. I know that's been a big thing as of late, especially with you.
Not really with me, but I mean, heck, we've covered the guy. We interviewed him. I don't know, countless times. He's been in this studio. You know.
Yeah, he certainly has. In
Yeah.
fact, we featured him last summer in the Robert E. Lee Middle School piece. Can I say that anymore? Do I have to say the other one?
What's the other one?
The
Star-
Lone Star Middle School piece.
Oh yeah. So,
No.
but yeah, we included it.
By the way, since we're like being out there and talking about politics now, you know what keeps me up? You know what motivates me to run harder sometimes? I think about the summer of 2000 when that school district was shepherding us through this engaging equity class, right? And they hired these two very liberal education PhDs to come down here and do this survey that kind of led the sheep to the conclusion they wanted, which was to get rid of the name Robert E. Lee, which is fine. Get rid of the name Robert E. Lee. But I get madder and madder when I think about how the school district used not only the name Engaging Equity, it makes me angry, but they used those liberal professors and they I mean, it was an insult to the taxpayers. And I think the new school board really should address this, because I mean the big thing now is critical race theory and how these school districts are they're having fights at school board meetings.
Yeah, all
Because-
over America.
All over America. And our school district was that they're using those keywords and those methodologies of critical race theory all summer long before we even knew what the heck it was.
Yeah, I think most of it's pandering, though. I mean,
Of course
you
they're
don't have
pandering.
you don't have to pander to conservatives, but you have to pander to those that are crying about stuff. So at the same time, as you might have been upset, you won't say anything unless it really gets to you. But
Oh,
some of
it's
these
gotten to
liberal
me.
parents just get mad and just start going at it at the very beginning. So you have to get ahead of it and
Well,
engage
the
equity.
the whole critical race theory crap that was pulled on this community by our school district this summer needs to be addressed. We need an apology or a retraction, something. I don't know. I think they do great on everything else, but I mean, just the key words. I mean, they even had equity on a sign on the former Robert E. Lee Middle School building, and by the way, there's equality and there's equity. Equality means everyone's free to do whatever they want
Right.
to do, right? That is what America's all about, is equality, Everyone has the same opportunities. Whether or not you're going to go down that primrose path of becoming an alcoholic and not, or not work or whatever, but if you work hard, you should be able to make it in this country, and everyone should. It doesn't matter what kind of background you have. Equity requires you to hold someone back. Equity is not equality. Equity requires you, if you have, let's say you have two runners in a race and you want those two runners to have the same time. Well, the fastest runner needs to be held back so that they can tie the slowest runner. Does that make sense? So you're holding back excellence. But anyway, that's me. The school district needs to address it. That was last summer, and it makes me madder and madder every day. The more stuff I read about this Marxism that was foisted on us. And I'm sorry.
Didn't the House just pass something, or I don't know, it's a bill maybe?
Not the House. The Texas legislature passed
anti-critical race
But
theory.
I think our school district needs to address it too, because we got a lot of liberal teachers out there.
But do you think that there's critical race theory being taught in San Angelo schools?
No doubt there is. They're using the keywords all summer long.
I guess. I mean, equity. That's different than actually teaching it, like the actual critical race theory.
They're teaching via that whole methodology, and it's wrong. I mean, God's against it. I'll just tell you.
Yeah. So if we really want to kind of break down equity, equity is defined as the quality of being fair or impartial, fairness, impartiality, or something that is fair and just. Equity also has several meanings related to finance and property law that aren't relevant for our discussion in this.
Yes, I have equity in the school district too, because we all do. If we own property, anyway. I'm sorry.
But no, that was that. So I mean, I do agree with you. There are two different. Whenever equality and equity, two different things, and I don't think that they should be put in the same type of.
Well, I don't.
Sphere,
I think what people were trying to do, or I think what the left was trying to do, they said, "Hey, everyone is for equality, so why don't we start using this equity word?" Okay, and it sounds like a better equality, but it's not. But it's not a better equality. It's communism, basically. So, and as an old bomber pilot who fought against the communists, I didn't come here to San Angelo to fight the communists at the school district. So. Ditch the equity talk, guys.
So
Manny, I'm gonna send you this. This is a perfect example of what we're talking about here.
Manny's
pull it up on the screen.
Is this a TikTok video, Trammell?
No, it's a picture. It's a picture. Can you pull up the work group in your computer?
No, I got it here.
Gonna pull up the picture. Anyway, while we're talking about that,
we're pulling it up.
Does that picture have something to do with?
This is the equity in theory versus equity in reality.
Okay,
it's
right.
sending right now.
All right,
there it is.
We're pulling it up.
We're pulling it up right now. You like that?
Flipping it over.
So here we go. Equity in theory, everyone just has different size boxes to stand on. Equity in reality, everyone's legs get cut off to fit the smallest person's size.
Ooh, cutting legs off. That sounds horrid.
What do you think? Is that kind of what you're saying there, Joe?
I am saying that. If you want to have equity, everyone has to be the same height.
Yeah.
Instead of building up to the height, though, we're going to cut the legs
Whatever
off.
happened to just working for it,
Yeah.
Well,
that's
anyways,
equality.
I just saw that and I thought it was kind of relatable.
Equity is
to what
just
we
a
were talking
fancy
about.
word the left has used. It really means they really mean it to mean equity, but they think it sounds better than equality, so they're going to use it. But equity means we're going back to a Marxist type government. I mean, the government's going to take money away from those who make it and give it to people who don't make it. And at some point, it breaks down and never works, and people end up getting killed.
Yeah, and if you also look up, the term equity, I mean, equity is measured for accounting purposes by subtracting liabilities from the value of the assets.
There you go.
I mean, there's that certainly applied to our everyday life in terms of how certain people view equity, and I don't know, it all means the same thing whenever you come, whether you break it down with finance or its actual meaning there. So
anyway,
so we bring it full circle. Alan West running for governor.
He's definitely not into the critical race theory.
He's not in critical race theory. That's pretty much what he fights against. So that's pretty much what
I liked it when we went down there. We flew up there to Addison to talk to Alan West, and we asked him, what about Robert E. Lee Middle School? Is that offensive to you? And the quote he got out, it was a money quote. He goes, I don't care if they name a school Robert E. Lee in San Angelo, Texas. It has no bearing on how well I'm going to do or what I'm going to do next or how well I'm going to do in the society.
I liked when he talked about the mountain. What was the mountain?
It was
Stone Mountain.
Stone Mountain, and it's
Atlanta.
Carved out. It's was it Stonewall Jackson, Robert E. Lee, and
Who else is on there?
There's
I mean,
one
there's-
more.
I don't know. I'm not from Georgia, so
There's
someone
a lot-
from Georgia help us
Anyways,
out.
There's a lot of historic
it's about
figures
3 or
on there.
4
They're
Confederates.
Confederates.
It's like the Mount Rushmore of Confederate soldiers, basically. And he said that as a black man, he walked to the very top of it. Not one time did he feel suppressed. So I mean, he's
Oppressed.
definitely anti it, and he's going to put up a good fight against Abbott, probably.
You think?
I don't think he's going to win, but I think he's going to put up a good fight.
Man, Trammell, you're such a negative guy. You think
No.
that Alan West has no chance?
I don't think he has no chance. I think he has slim chance. Gets my boy.
I think it's good that
Greg
Alan
Abbott.
West. I think it's good that Alan West is going to up his profile by running for governor, and even if he doesn't win, which he does have a chance because the guy's well spoken, he's a fighter. He does it, Manny. You can back me up on this. He doesn't seem like a guy who's going to pick the wrong people to help run his team.
No.
So-
I think he's well capable. I think he is well capable of leading the state of Texas. I think without question, just having a conversation with him, picking his brain, seeing all the things that he posts, is very, very articulate. But for some reason, and it's not based on his race, but I'm not sure that people are willing to give him a chance.
I think if you give
with
old
all
white
that.
ladies the vote between Abbott or Alan West, I just think old white ladies are just at the end of the day going to pick Greg Abbott. I mean, he's more
known.
professional,
He's-
more
he's-
known.
he's
He's,
a known-
a winner.
he's a known
already,
quantity.
He's been doing a lot of big stuff for Texas since he's been in there. I mean, it's not like Texas has fallen off anywhere. If not, we get better every year. So
I would say this: Alan West needs a break for his campaign to break out into the mainstream. He needs a break, but you
That
know
sounds
what?
about right.
You never get a break. It's not about luck. It's about being successful. And I know Alan West knows this because he's an old Army colonel. But it's when hard work meets opportunity. So he's putting forth the hard work now, setting up the campaign. Whether or not he sets up works hard enough or not, I don't know. But somewhere in there might come a break where all of a sudden Alan West is a big player.
you think there's
And-
dirt in Abbott's campaign or what?
Well, I mean, it could be that. It could be, history changes things, Something could happen. A calamity could have happened and Abbott gets blamed. I don't know. I mean, you don't know what will happen.
You
So,
think there's a loss or love in the Republican Party for Abbott right now, or do you think? I mean, everyone's been questioning is he going to win again?
I don't know, Trammell.
He's won was it twice now? So
Well, Trammell, you remember when we were down there in McCown at the airport? Remember all those rich people there? They were in their jets. There was probably about 7 corporate jets there. And all of them were were driven or owned by Abbott supporters and full of Abbott supporters.
Right.
And they flew down there. You don't get 7 rich guys to fly down to far Texas to go stand out with the mosquitoes biting you like they did. I mean, he had some major heft and donors sitting there. There's some pretty famous rich Texans in that group of those jets. And Abbott came down in one of those private jets too. So. That was a masterful campaign event on the border there in far Texas that Matt Trammell and myself went down there to see. It was and Trump was there. That was just masterful. And it's those kinds of things that were pulled off almost flawlessly. Is what Abbott did. That Alan West is up against.
So another story I saw today was they did a survey down in Tyler, or maybe it was San Antonio. I can't remember. Anyways, it was some urban city, and they did a survey, and they said that Matthew McConaughey was looking pretty good, like a competitive
The Mike.
competitor.
Oh yeah.
Mike.
Yeah. So what y'all think of that?
Yeah, he's this close. I read a headline was Matthew McConaughey this close. That was the headline.
Yeah.
You know what? No one complained about that headline, but that's a terrible headline. Just so you know, I don't like the headline.
Like,
But
who's
what do you
measuring
think?
that?
Yeah, I think it was a
Facebook
survey.
commentors.
I think it was a survey that said that McConaughey did
it was a
well
poll.
with the polls. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a poll. I don't know who did the poll. Someone can look it up for
I
us.
think it was UT. I think it was like a UT Tyler. I think it was UT Tyler.
It's always UT.
It was a UT school though.
But
It's either UTSA or UT Tyler.
But the interesting thing on this whole deal, the issue that's going to drive this is going to be border security. And we went down there and we saw it firsthand. But there's not a whole lot. A governor of Texas is a very weak appointed office. There's not a whole lot the governor of Texas can do. He's not like Pelosi, where he can print as much money as he wants to hire as many border patrol agents as he wants to build the biggest wall he wants to.
Oh, we're gonna privately fund it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, and the other thing is that Texas does not have legal authority to deport people. I mean, that's only the federal government can do it.
Right.
So, I mean, we're going in there with our hands tied unless they're going to try some extracurricular legal maneuvers.
The
trying to
fence.
do it.
They're going to build the fence first, and then what they're going to do is Abbott said this. He said before they build the wall, they're going to build a fence. So that way, when they jump over the fence, cut the fence, whatever, we can arrest them for destruction of property or
Is that right?
trespassing.
That's
yeah.
the goal.
Yeah,
All right.
that's what he said. That's pretty much the early plan for the actual
Okay.
starting to apprehend people.
All right. Let them destroy. Destroy property.
Yeah, let us destroy our fence, and we'll pay for it, whatever.
Anyway, other things in Texas, only 40% of you out there have been vaccinated against the COVID.
Is that in San Angelo or is that in Texas?
That's Texas. 40%.
40%.
Just 40%.
I think I think San Angelo, I think we're way higher than that. I think we're like close to 60 or higher.
I don't know. I'm not taking the vaccine. Nope.
Well, I saw an interesting piece. I believe it was on Saturday or Sunday, one of those. It was ABC News, and they were talking. They actually went down to West Virginia. Now, West Virginia, that's a very. It's a very I guess you can consider West Virginia a red state, more or less.
No,
I
they
mean-
got a Democrat senator, Manchin.
Where?
In West Virginia. Well,
Well,
nonetheless, so the
it's a reddish state.
but it's like they found the majority of people, they were basically talking about COVID vaccinations and this and that, and all the people that they found were, I'm not getting the vaccination. I don't want.
But they all got it
No.
secretly.
No, they
they're
didn't
not?
get it, and they weren't going to get it.
Uh-huh.
And they were saying, it's my choice. I don't have to get it.
It is. It's your
And
choice not to get it.
and they were saying, or they were asking a 21-year-old, it's like, are you going to get the vaccination? He's like, no, I don't need it because I'm young enough. I think my body can
Exactly.
sustain it. And yet ABC News is kind of just throwing shade on that. The fact that everybody needs to get a vaccination. Well,
I think it should be a personal choice. Personal choice. But, I had the COVID, so I had these antibodies. So I don't know. Every day it seems like there's another news story saying you don't have to have the shot. The next day you have to have the shot. Next day, if you had the shot and you had COVID before, you're going to get heart disease if you get the shot. I mean, let this stuff settle out, man, before I go out there and put my butt on the line. That's what I say.
I
Let it
reached out
settle
to the health department here in San Angelo today. I haven't got an answer yet, but I'm going to try to see if they have a Delta variation in San Angelo. There's been 5 cases of the Delta in Midland over the weekend, so that's kind of what happened last year. Midland got it, and then San Angelo was just right afterwards.
What's a Delta version do to you?
The Delta variation, I don't know. It's supposed to
is it
spread
different?
easier. I don't think it's as deadly, but I think it spreads easier.
So it's not as severe?
I don't know. Don't quote me. I'm not a doctor.
I mean, when I had it, I lost my taste and I felt like crap for a day. And then I had to talk to my doctor. I said, "What am I supposed to do? Everyone keeps calling me, telling me I'm about to die." He goes, someone called me and said, "Get one of those blood percentage things you put on your finger."
Like a diabetes thing?
No, the little
Where you
clamp
prick your
put on
finger?
your finger.
Oh, you're talking about a heart rate monitor?
Yeah, and measure how much oxygen you have. So I did that because they thought I was going to die, and it was like at 97%. And everything goes, you better check it like every 30 minutes. So I'm checking it every 30 minutes, 97%. But I have the COVID. Finally, I called the doctor. I said, "All right, why do old people like me die of the COVID?" Well, and he says, "Blood clots." I said, "Well, how do you stop blood clots?" He goes, "Don't sit around on your butt all the day." And I said, "Can I go running?" He goes, "Hell yeah, go run." So that's what I did. So I ran for a week with COVID.
Well,
there you go. And you could breathe.
I could breathe. I could, yes.
Hey, so speaking of this Delta variant, so Yale Medicine, if you go to Yale Medicine, this is coming from yalemedicine.org, and they have like the top 5 things to know about the Delta variant. 1 is Delta is more contagious than the other viruses, okay? 2, unvaccinated people are at risk. 3, Delta could lead to hyperlocal outbreaks. 4, there's still more to learn about Delta. And 5, vaccination is the best protection against Delta.
so basically what you just told me was we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. It's still just the cocoa.
Yeah. At this point, yeah. So, I mean, it all
Lord.
wraps up as like, hey, we still don't know.
Do you think these people go to Yale or work at Yale?
These? Yeah. That's kind of what it kind of sums up. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this whole thing, I think obviously we're not doctors around here. We're not saying, this and that. But, I mean, I think we just got to calm down. We got to see what this thing is about and work it out from there.
Well, I think there's no immediacy to getting vaccinated anymore because not very many people are getting sick. I mean,
36 active cases over the weekend.
well, think about this. How many people go get flu shots? I mean, it's kind of like flu season's over. Who's
Right.
going to get a flu shot? That's the deal. I don't know. I'm not that excited about it, and I'm certainly not going to be a propaganda arm for the Biden administration and tell people they got to get
Which,
vaccinated.
by the way, the Biden administration did not meet its COVID shot quota
Good.
before the July 4th mark.
I wonder if they've met any other quotas.
Money spent.
Money spent.
Money spent.
And inflation given.
Yeah.
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 Well, I've never seen anything like it. But of course, it's all much better what we have now than mean tweets. If we only thank God we don't have mean tweets to worry about. But anyway, that's the wrap up on the vaccination. The next is skipping ahead here in San Angelo, we had 2 murders, or you had 2 people charged with murder this week. Into the Conchos guy was arrested.
Yeah, I was arrested
Ballinger.
yesterday in Ballinger at the Shopping Basket Market down there.
And he killed a guy named Daniel Chandler
Yeah,
at the end of the Concho.
Stabbed the guy, maybe.
Did he stab him?
I think he stabbed him.
Were you there?
No.
You weren't there?
No, I don't usually hang out there when there's people there stabbing people.
But they caught the guy they think did it, and he's in jail now. And then the other one is...
He had a bunch of other charges: evading arrest, possession of the devil's lettuce. I'm not saying it made him do it, but
I think it did.
that reefer
I'm
madness.
becoming more radical now that, I've been, subjected to so much radical stuff on the other side. It's kind of pushed my pendulum way over here to the right. But anyway.
Xavier Johnson is now, he's not talking about you. He's differentiated between the two.
He's what?
Creepy Joe now wants to go door to door for vaccines.
That's true. You come to my door.
Don't
Never
come to my
mind.
door.
I can't say it.
Just put the no soliciting.
Just say this there,
it's like
Joe
in the
Biden.
Bible, you just put the blood on the door and
Well,
it'll just move on.
I have this big flag in my front yard. It says Buck Fiden.
Whoa. So we had a couple murders. We had one at the Penny Pub too.
Penny Pub. They
That was
caught
kinda
the
wild.
guy there. Now that guy.
But there might be more than one. But right now they just have arrested one.
So you think there might be more than one? Subject.
Some of the family alleges that it was kind of a gang thing where he got beat up by a bunch of people. But I don't know.
When you say gang thing, a gang of people or a organized gang?
I think I don't know, a gang of people acting like gangsters. I don't know.
Everyone's too scared to say that there's gangs in San Angelo.
Because there's not gangs in San Angelo.
Yeah, there is.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, there's like the 325 Southside.
No. All the gangs in San Angelo, I think, are just gangsters who listen to rap music.
And they
just
got the
wanna be
Latin
that.
Kings. They got the people have those
Nah.
king things on their.
Maybe
on their
like
tattooed.
older folks, but I feel like people my age are just acting like.
You mean like
gangsters.
all the 60-year-olds are all in the Latin Kings?
No, probably like 35, 40. Like
35, 40?
Yeah, they're probably. I don't know. But I'm saying my age, I don't feel like there's like gangs.
But
Like Gangland, if they came to San Angelo, they would be really disappointed. They'd be like, "Wow, everybody's
Not a
just
whole lot
shooting
to
people over meth." That's
yeah,
it.
No, not a whole lot to control here. You know?
Nope.
Yeah. Mandy Diaz,
What we got?
I think I'm done with the news roundup here.
Okay. Well,
Unless
it was a pretty good
someone's
session.
in there that wants to talk about something else.
I think that was a pretty good session. Xavier
yeah.
Johnson, if you want to come on next week,
Yeah.
we'll schedule you.
Yeah, he seems to.
If y'all have any ideas for some guests, we can get some guests going. That would be cool. I like
who
Dell.
you'd like to hear from?
Yeah,
I mean,
Dell was kind of a cool little change for pace here.
Yeah, we
Plus,
had to
I like to
interrupt him
sit
a
back
couple
here,
times.
and if it's just Joe, I might get stuck back on the black desk.
Yeah. On the what desk?
The black desk.
Trammell, I think we might keep you back there though.
Yeah,
like
we
it.
want you on that desk. We got you a new backdrop.
It makes me feel like I'm on like a radio show, like Sway Lee in the morning or something.
No, it's that Rogan guy,
Oh yeah, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
That's his the podcast.
The pod.
Yeah, but he has people. He has like he has like people like they're facing each other.
Yeah, they're like a table. This
Yeah,
is more
we're in
like
different
when you're on
rooms.
the radio and they have the backdrop in the back.
Yeah, we got the backdrop back there, but it's a beautiful backdrop.
Yeah.
It's very Trammell-esque.
Yes.
Yeah, that might stick for cover one. for
Yeah.
the football show. The football
Yeah, for the
program.
Trammel Duster and Camp. In fact, we're coming up on football season. Have you already started to look around and see what the big stories are going to be? And actually, I'm going to ask the question.
Biggest story: Walls winning the state
Will
championship.
Central go past like the second layer to state?
The
Will they
second
they get
layer.
past the second game?
Okay, so I think that's still up for debate. And I know we have
Who's QB?
So the QB is Tyler Hill. He is
Is that
the heir
confirmed?
apparent. Yeah, that's more or less. I mean,
Breaking news right
that-
here. Starter name.
Yeah,
Central
so-
Bobcat.
So more or less during the spring game, I mean, he was the guy. Now there is another cat that's kind of behind him. He's right around the same group. But talent level, I think he's still there. I think it's going to come down to it's replacing guys on defense. Defense looked phenomenal. And then what they're going to look like, who Tyler Hill's going to be throwing to this season. So.
Yeah, first year head coach. They lit it up last year offensively. Do you think they'll be able to do that again, or do you think it's going to be a little tougher?
I think so. No, because you're implementing. I mean, Kevin Crane's still sticking with the same scheme. These guys, they know him. They know a lot of this staff. So I mean, I don't think there's going to be a drop off in that. Now, whether or not that there's a drop off in the talent pool. That's coming from the JV squads from the ninth grade to the JV to now to the varsity level. I think that's going to be up for debate, and we'll see what happens with that. Now they do have,
but we're not going to know for a couple of years on that, right?
No, for that we won't. But we will know. We will see.
So have you seen Curvin Crane over there at the Little League fields? Hey kids, y'all want to be Bobcats one day? Especially you. You're really fast.
Well, I mean,
they go run the triple option down south. East of town.
Yeah, no, they what they do. I mean, they'll have like the football camps. They'll invite the younger generation, the younger kids for that. So, but yeah, we're still years away from seeing what that's going to be.
How badly he can mess it up or make it better.
I think.
I mean, it's hard. It's a lot.
So we're talking about the pipeline.
Big shoes to fill. I mean.
But we're talking about the pipeline.
Coach Davis was
and
there
it's hard
forever.
to build a
so-
pipeline.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I think he does have the pipeline there.
Yeah.
Now, whether or not that the talent, he can groom that talent, because you're going up against guys that are, the likes of Midland and now Odessa. I think now Midland Lee, which was the artist for the Midland Legacy, the artist formerly known as Midland Lee.
Yeah.
I think they've kind of
How many times are we going to call it Midland Lee by mistake?
forever Midland Lee. That's
yeah.
what it is to me.
I mean, but you also got to remember, though, at the end of the day, we're still back in the little Southwest Conference,
Yeah.
so we're not going
It's
to
not
have
as
to
bad-
battle. We're not going to
not
have
as
to go
bad as
against
LD
Dallas.
Bell, huh?
But
no.
I will say this: I think Midland Lee, that they have kind of taken the baton as the team to beat, and there's right behind them is Odessa Permian. So and then kind of just that filling in the gap in that third spot is San Angelo Central. So
Yeah.
that's where they are.
What about Abilene?
Abilene's number 4. Abilene,
Yeah,
in
but
fact,
I mean, actually, last year, dude, do you remember Abilene?
The
High,
Warbirds-
Abilene High
they
snuck
made-
up at the end.
yeah,
and they made it interesting. So
And
don't ever sleep on
ladies
them.
and gentlemen, we're talking football.
yeah,
And
Texas
the-
high school football.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get a
so
little excited.
I mean, do I think so? The answer to your question, Joe, to get past that second round, at this point, it would just be speculation.
We'll speculate. I want
You just
you
got a
know,
ball.
You're
I think
going to say
there's-
yes.
I think there's a lot to see. At this point, I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
I think
You're
I
playing
think
it
it's-
safe.
I think it's going to be. I'm not going to say it's going to be tough or out of the realm of possibility for them to get past the second round. But there's some things that got to be there. We have to see. But based off from what we saw last year, heading into this season, we just got to play it out. What do you think, Jim?
What about your Cougs?
Oh, my Cristobal Cougs.
Remember last year they had the run.
Oof, man. Well, no Braden Wilcox this season. He's
Yeah.
graduated, headed off to Angelo State to play ball there. Man, I think based on that district, it's gonna be tough again. It's gonna come down between them and El Dorado.
Yeah, like always.
That's gonna ball between them two. Now to make it to
No Covarrubias twins anymore, right? The
Well-
brother, both is the younger one still there in
the
El
younger
Dorado?
one, yeah, the younger one, is coming up on his senior season, so
And he's playing QB.
he's still the QB1 there.
Nice,
So,
nice.
in fact, they made it to the state 7-on-7 tournament, and they went into the winners bracket, and I think they were like 3 wins away from actually getting to the championship game. So,
Nice.
I think El Dorado, this is probably one of the better teams to watch in the area. Always got to show some props,
Is
show some love.
El Dorado's 2A, right?
2A Division 2, so
Yeah.
they're in the same district, same division as Cristobal.
Okay.
All right, last one. the Hawks, can they get out of the third round? Can they get out of the second
The
round?
Wall Hawks.
Man, we saw some different things with them last season. New quarterback from between Derek Morrison, between the Morrison kid and the new guy that they put in kind of down the stretch. Man, I don't know. That's going to be tough. We saw Jim Ned kind of rise to the top. And of course, win the whole thing last year in Class 3A Division I. They're in the same district as those guys. That Region 1 is incredibly tough. You have Bushland, you have Brock, you have Pilot Point, and that second and third round. I mean, you're coming up against teams like that. So I think it's going to be incredibly tough for them. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, but very, very, very tough.
I'm excited to see because they got a lot of new faces in. They're not going to be the same team. Or they're going to play the exact same way.
Yeah.
Don't get it wrong when you're talking about Wall, but
they're not switching it
it's
up.
a new team, so they lost a lot of people. You know, they lost QB, they lost Mike Linebacker, they lost the giant Tate Williams,
Yeah.
who I mean was a monster on defense. So it'll be interesting to see what's up. But with that triple option, it is what you get.
Yeah, and it kind of just whenever you're down, it's tough to come back, because you're so used to running the football, and, they don't throw the ball a heck of a whole lot.
But, maybe, they got in that quarterback situation, that was just they got put in a bad situation where they didn't have a guy, they didn't have anybody. So I think maybe they had the spring to work with this cat, and he'll be able to get it going. Maybe he'll throw the ball a little bit.
We'll see. They haven't really thrown it a whole lot since Mason Fuchs. Mason Fuchs was he was kind of their guy that threw the rock around the lot there. So,
Hey,
but
Xavier Johnson is our man tonight.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, "What about Lakeview?" That's a loaded question. Loaded question, Mr. Xavier.
All right.
The Lakeview Chiefs. Trammell, you
here's
tackle that
the first line I'll give you of the year, Manny. The Trammell the Trammell betting
the
desk
Trammell
here.
line.
3 games over under. What you got?
3 games, win or lose.
Yeah, they're gonna win over 3 or under 3.
I'll give them over. I'll give them over 3 wins.
Joe?
I can't because I'm a publisher of the largest newspaper in the area.
That would
I
be
can't
biased.
say one way or the other.
Trammell. Okay, so you're setting the line. What do you think?
I'll take the line. I'll just take 3.
You'll take 3.
I'll take the 3,
Well-
and I guarantee you it'll more than likely be the first 2 and Big Springs.
Okay.
It's just Big Spring. There's not springs.
Yeah, there ain't really
Why do
any
people-
springs
why
in
is
there.
it? Why is it all the rednecks go? I need to go to Big Springs.
Here
It's
we
not
go.
Big. It's not Big Springs. It's Big Spring.
Well,
Big Spring.
I made that typo in an article before.
More than once.
So we know Lakeview for sure. They're going to the playoffs. You know what I mean? Because you
Yeah.
get 4 teams
Outcome
in.
based. Oh, this is equity.
Yeah.
Equity.
Equity.
In the
4 teams
district.
in.
4 teams equity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a la the University Interscholastic League for making that happen. Thank
Yeah.
you, UIL.
So, Manny, what's up? We're gonna start seeing some football videos. What do you think about 2-a-days? That's when you think our coverage will start, or are we just gonna kick it off when the
We
season
had a meeting
starts?
about our coverage this morning.
I wasn't there.
You
I had
weren't
a
there?
haircut.
Should we, Manny? Should we let them in on what we want to try to do?
Yeah. So,
I mean, we can pull out the fireworks thing. We can fire. We probably pull this off too.
yeah, I think so. Our show, because
And our show's called. It's branded as Cover One, and Manny brought that with him when he came to San Angelo Live. It's his show, Cover One, and it's his. I don't know. That's it's your baby.
it kind of is. Yeah.
You know.
I mean,
you're into that stuff.
yeah, high school football has been a big thing for me. You know, I've been this season will mark my 11th season of covering Texas high school football, going back to when I started at KTAB, the CBS affiliate.
And that's really how you learn how to do all your video stuff.
Oh,
and
without question.
It was
Without
a football. That was your subject.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. In fact, covering Abilene High in their 2009 state championship run when they beat the Katy Tigers, and they're in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, watching those guys, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. And I think this season, because you essentially Cover One, the program started off as an NFL Films version of Texas high school football.
And when you say the NFL Films version, if you have cable and you have the NFL channel, and if you go watch a show on there, they might have remember the 1972 game against the Dallas Cowboys, or Dallas Cowboys against the Minnesota Vikings.
Right.
It was a cold, snowy day in Minneapolis.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's
Right?
exactly.
That's what you want to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And it had like that screechy music they have in the old reels, the old reel films.
It was good, yeah.
And remember Tom Landry, and they show this guy in the hat walking, pacing back and forth. And so you wanted to make those types of
field
films.
was really
Yeah.
200 yards long.
So it'd be like,
uphill, both
remember
ways.
the Bobcats losing season in 2012. I'm Manny Diaz.
Yeah, that's
For Cover One Reports.
That's what I wanted to make, and and I think later in life, I think I'll get back to that. But I think right now we have an opportunity to kind of do something that's a little bit cooler, and essentially bring you a high school football, not only from West Texas, but from the entire state of Texas.
Yeah, and what people I think were looking for in their high school football coverage. Number one is we know this from statistics, from what when we watch people engage our content. They want to know the score right now. That's the first thing.
Right.
And the second thing I believe is they want to know the big picture. They want to know, even at week 1 or week 2, who's got a shot at state, or if my team or my kid on my team is headed up. Who else is headed up with us? Who might we meet at some point during the season?
Absolutely.
And this is going to be the first full season since COVID. I mean, last season was just horked up.
It was, it was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, more importantly, it was just weird.
Yeah.
And because we never knew from week to week if there was going to be a week for that team.
And that's what got us onto the live streaming. I mean, really, it was the Cover One show, because before, remember, 19, we were flying all over the state of Texas, and we were making these post-game produced productions, and we got a pretty good audience on. But I thought we could do better on them. And part of the problem we had was the time to produce. It took too long to produce those things.
I mean, because there's a lot that goes into that. So I think this season we're gonna take take the it's almost like taking an NFL Films version of things or NFL Red Zone, and then we're going to put our San Angelo Live spin on it. So we're going to have guys, we're going to have videographers all throughout Texas, so whether it be Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, Austin.
They're going to be on the
in
sidelines.
the big markets, and not to mention here in West Texas, out in the Little Southwest Conference in Midland, Odessa, here in San Angelo. We're gonna have people in all these different markets, and as soon as this happens, they're gonna send us this video, and we're gonna put it up on this live stream. We're gonna have live scores, live updates. We don't need the live look-ins. We just need the good video as it happens.
And we need a video of the good plays. We don't want to just look in and bore you with people, walking around waiting on a penalty call. That happened a lot last year when we were trying this thing. But what I think the vision that you have, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you want someone to watch this show and they can look in on a 10-minute basis, 5-minute basis, and get a pretty good picture of how that Friday night's going as far as scores around the state, and also where the standings are.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good assumption of that. It's not it's Fox Sports, Southwest Valley Sports, whatever they call themselves these days. They do a similar show, but it is a version of NFL Red Zone to the high school level, where they look into games, but it's just, and then they come back and just BS about it. But it's like, man, I don't want to wait for all the stuff. As soon as it happens, I just want to give it to you. And I think we gave it to you a lot last season when Sterling City went all the way to the state championship game against May, and we were getting in that stuff quick. It was rapid fire. James Bellini was our videographer out there, sending it to us, feeding it to us extremely quick.
Same thing with the Cristobal game in Fredericksburg. Remember that?
Indeed.
And that's where we learned that, hey, man, we could send this video clips back really quick, and we can get them up. We don't have to use these live streams that are getting gobbled up by these big companies.
Right. And then on top of that, we had Matt Trammell at the Trammell Live Desk.
The birth of the Live Desk.
I mean,
Live Desk.
We learned so much with that, and then Trammell just added like a whole nother level of entertainment to it.
Week 1 there was no Trammell Desk, and I watched like, this is so boring. No, just kidding. But
the Trammell Desk was so
week 2,
good.
The Live Desk came around.
We turned it into the Strike It Rich Bingo Desk, and now now we have the Trammell backdrop. The backdrop for the Trammell Desk. Everyone look at the backdrop for Trammell. I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it?
So amazing.
It's a beautiful backdrop.
It's good. In fact, whenever we do have, we bring Cover One, we need to get like a whole Trammell type of thing back there.
With just my face on it.
Yeah, because up in
thumbs
Lubbock,
up.
and Trammell, you know this. Pete Christie for KCBD.
Yeah, he's got his face on
He has
it.
the segment. It's called "I Beat Pete," and then he has his face all over the T-shirt.
Yeah.
But you remember it. Like you will never forget.
That's
I Beat
right.
Pete.
For sure.
For sure. So, yeah, we need to get Trammell. We need to get him hooked up on that.
Yeah, just right in the back right there, Trammell desk. I'm in.
The Trammell Live.
Tremble
desk.
Live, baby.
So yeah, we're certainly going to be taking Texas high school football to a completely different level. We plan on creating a Roku app.
Yeah,
so where we
Roku.
can- where we can
So you
stream.
can watch it in your bedroom, laying in bed. And you won't fall asleep, though.
Hey.
It's going to be exciting.
Probably the best place to look at San Angelo Live is just when you're laying in bed at night.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And we're also going to have reports from the side of the road of crashes and stuff like that on Roku.
Hey, yep.
Yeah.
You can watch it all,
Maybe
man.
even something like this.
You can just put it on loop.
Yeah, you can just watch all the
And your friends be
all the
going,
1
"What
minute
is
crash
that?"
videos.
Yeah, 1 minute crash videos, like one after another after another. Yeah. But anyway, hey, I think it's been real and it's been fun.
I think it's been real fun.
I mean, thank you, Manny Diaz, El Rey.
El Rey.
And,
Yeah, we got a lot coming up here on San Angelo Live. Some
we
big
do.
plans.
You know, one more
some big
thing before
things.
we go. We have the West Texas Legislative Summit.
Yeah, next
we,
month.
We're going to be the media sponsors for the chamber. We're actually going to give them money and help them put on this thing, because I think the West Texas Legislative Summit is important for San Angelo to assert itself as a leader of rural policy in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what Houston Hart did with his paper back in the 50s, And we kind of lost that because the papers. But we have San Angelo Live, and there's not a Midland Live, there's not an Odessa Live, there's not an Abilene Live, there's not even a Lubbock Live, folks.
Let's make the next one the Joe Hyde Expressway. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I think we'll name whichever road has the most wrecks on. That's what I want it to be named after me.
Yeah.
The San Angelo Live Expressway.
I think that right now it'd be Sherwood Way.
Sherwood Way, yeah.
Sherwood Way. Yeah. Well, where is the most dangerous intersection in San Angelo? It's probably North Bryant.
FM 2288
Yeah.
and Sherwood.
Has to
or
be
Arden
that
Road. Arden Road and FM 2288. We call that the Joe Hyde traffic circle.
The San Angelo Live Expressway.
Yeah, I like that. San Angelo Live Expressway. By the way, I tried to rename the Coliseum San Angelo Live. I said, hey, I want to bid on it. And then all of a sudden, crickets. The city wouldn't even let me to bid on it.
Man.
So we got another 10 years of foster this, foster that.
Okay.
But we'll wait. We're patient.
Never
We're young.
heard of her.
We're
Never
vibrant.
heard of her.
Yeah, we got it.
Never heard of her. Yeah.
Yeah, never heard of her either.
Yeah, we're built for stamina.
Yeah,
you know?
longevity.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
How else are we going to get the San Angelo Live Expressway?
and traffic circle.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
guys, this has been fun. We've been here for about a couple hours now. If you stayed in and tuned the whole time, you're awesome.
Yeah.
If not,
If
check
you
us out next
didn't,
week.
huh.
We're probably going to have some more cool guests. So
We might have a really big surprise guest next
yeah,
week.
there you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm Matt Trammell.
I'm Joe Hyde.
Yeah. Well, hold on, fellas.
Oh, wait.
Oh, Manny's
Wait.
about to disconnect himself.
I was gonna get a nice little out here.
Oh, my fault. I'm sorry.
an
Manny.
out?
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. No. Hold.
We got an
let's-
out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the camera is trained on me. It's a staring contest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trammell, you want in on that?
Sure, I'll get in on it.
There we go.
All right.
We can get a little ramble in.
Ramble in. We're
Hey, can I get an auction going?
Hey, we're waiting. We're waiting on for Manny El Rey to put his new video up.
Yeah,
Is it-
so for real, y'all drop some names in the comments for people you want us to get on. We'll try to get them on, some San Angelo people. Even if they aren't in San Angelo people, we can try. You never
Yeah.
know.
Well, we'll ask him. You know,
I mean,
maybe
think
we
about
get
this. Donald Trump, we saw him last week.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we can get him on here, but we
I
saw
didn't.
him.
We didn't know y'all wanted him, so I didn't ask him
Yeah.
anything when we were
next
talking
time,
to him.
Next
Yeah.
time we'll have to ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
All right. Well, that's it.
Hey,
Perfect.
take care, everyone. This is Joe Hyde, San Angelo Live, signing out for
We love you guys.
Manny Diaz and Matt Trammell.